Welcome to Breaking Wire. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. As U.S. trade policies grow increasingly unpredictable, with sudden tariff hikes and shifting regulations, countries around the world are rethinking their economic alliances. Ireland, long seen as a steadfast partner to the United States, now finds itself at a crossroads, forced to reconsider where its future prosperity lies. In response, Ireland is quietly but decisively shifting its focus from its traditional American ally to Canada. This move is not just a reaction to current events, but a strategic recalibration as Irish leaders look northward for new opportunities and more stable partnerships. With American tariffs rising and uncertainty clouding the transatlantic relationship, Ireland seeks stability and opportunity in Canada, a nation that shares its commitment to open, rules-based trade. Canadian markets offer Irish exporters a reliable alternative, and both countries benefit from a shared vision of economic cooperation. This pivot isn't about abandoning old friends or severing historic ties, but about safeguarding Ireland's economic future amid global volatility. Irish businesses are adapting, exploring new markets, and building relationships that can weather the storms of international politics. The move signals a broader test of globalization, as established relationships strain under new U.S. protectionism. Ireland's decision is being watched closely by other nations, who may also be considering how best to navigate a world where old certainties are fading. Ireland's leaders now balance historic loyalty with the urgent need for reliable partners, finding Ottawa a promising alternative. The growing ties between Ireland and Canada reflect a pragmatic approach to international trade, one that prioritizes resilience and adaptability. This realignment could inspire other nations to diversify away from U.S. dependency, reshaping global trade dynamics and encouraging a more multipolar, interconnected world economy. President Trump's aggressive tariffs, introduced as a way to protect American industries and jobs, have sent shockwaves through the global economy. These measures, which include steep taxes on imported goods, have not only targeted traditional rivals like China, but also long-standing allies such as Canada, Mexico, and the European Union. By imposing tariffs on both friends and foes, the administration has challenged the very foundation of international cooperation and trust that underpinned decades of global trade. These actions have upended the U.S.-led free trade system that had been in place since the end of World War II, creating uncertainty for businesses and governments worldwide. Tariffs as high as 25% have triggered a global tit-for-tat, with countries retaliating by imposing their own tariffs on American goods. This escalating trade war has forced nations to reconsider their reliance on the vast American consumer market. The result: disrupted supply chains, rising costs for manufacturers and consumers alike, and uncertainty for workers whose jobs depend on international trade. Companies are scrambling to find new partners and alternative suppliers, hoping to shield themselves from the volatility of shifting U.S. policies. U.S. tariffs on EU goods soared from under 2% to over 15%, hitting industries from agriculture to automobiles and sparking fierce debates on both sides of the Atlantic. While there have been occasional pauses or temporary deals, these moments of relief have been short-lived, with markets and businesses remaining on edge. This isn't just a negotiating tactic. It represents a fundamental shift in America's approach to global trade, one that is forcing other nations to adapt quickly. Countries like Ireland, for example, are now seeking stability and new opportunities by strengthening ties with partners beyond the U.S., such as Canada and Asian markets. Around the world, governments and businesses are diversifying their trade relationships, investing in new routes and agreements to reduce their vulnerability to sudden policy changes from Washington. In this new era, resilience and adaptability are key as nations work to build stronger, more flexible trade networks that can withstand the unpredictability of U.S. policy. For Ireland, U.S. tariffs are an immediate threat to its export-driven economy. Key sectors, pharmaceuticals, chemicals, food and beverages, face steep barriers, jeopardizing jobs and growth. A 25% tariff on Irish whiskey or butter makes them uncompetitive in the U.S., forcing tough choices for businesses. Smaller producers are especially vulnerable, risking layoffs or closure. Turning to Canada, with its open market under CETA, offers Ireland a lifeline and a chance to diversify. Strengthening ties with Canada helps Ireland hedge against U.S. volatility. It's a strategic move to ensure stability and growth in uncertain times. While the US raises barriers, Canada is opening doors. Under Prime Minister Mark Carney, Canada champions free trade, making itself a magnet for partners like Ireland. CETA removes nearly all tariffs between Canada and the EU, offering Irish exporters a stable, lucrative market. Canada's proactive outreach and predictable policies stand in stark contrast to US unpredictability. For Ireland, Canada is a low-risk, high-reward alternative, keeping a North American presence without US trade drama. As global supply chains shift, Canada's open arms offer a safe harbor. The message is clear. Canada is open for business, and reliability is its calling card. The US and Canada's trade strategies couldn't be more different. President Trump's confrontational, tariff-driven approach creates instability and anxiety among allies. Prime Minister Carney opts for quiet diplomacy, emphasizing shared interests and stable partnerships. Even as some Canadian provinces push for retaliation, the federal government stays focused on de-escalation. For countries like Ireland, Canada's steady hand is far more appealing than US unpredictability. These contrasting styles highlight a choice disruption versus cooperation. In today's world, predictability and partnership are winning out. President Trump's response to Ireland's pivot has been loud and personal, framing it as a betrayal. He accuses Ireland of disloyalty and Canada of opportunism, fueling his America First narrative, but his own tariffs are what pushed Ireland to seek alternatives. Trump's rhetoric plays well with his base, but it risks alienating key allies. The administration's frustration is clear. Tariffs were meant to force concessions, not drive partners away. Ireland's move exposes a flaw. Countries have options, and US unpredictability is making them look elsewhere. The real danger for America is self-imposed isolation. Ireland's deepening ties with Canada mark a turning point in global trade. This partnership is more than just a diplomatic gesture. It's a strategic move that signals a shift in how nations approach economic security and opportunity. As the world becomes more interconnected, the choices countries make today will shape the future of commerce for decades to come. As the US grows unpredictable, countries are building new alliances in regional blocs, reducing dependence on any single partner. This trend is visible at international summits, where leaders from Europe and North America are forging new agreements and exploring innovative ways to collaborate. The global landscape is shifting, and nations are rethinking old assumptions about who their most reliable partners are. America risks isolation, while Ireland and the EU strengthen their own networks. The European Union in particular is actively seeking to expand its influence and secure its economic future by reaching out to like-minded partners. Ireland, with its unique position, is at the forefront of this movement, helping to build bridges across the Atlantic. Canada emerges as a stable gateway between Europe and North America, attracting trade and investment. Its ports are bustling with activity, and its cities are becoming hubs for international business. By offering a reliable alternative to traditional trade routes, Canada is redefining its role on the world stage. Prime Minister Carney's diplomatic approach is paying off, positioning Canada as a trusted leader. His efforts to foster cooperation and build trust with European partners are setting a new standard for international relations, and other countries are taking notice. For Ireland, diversification is now essential for security and growth. By expanding its network of trading partners, Ireland is not only protecting itself from global shocks, but also opening up new opportunities for innovation and prosperity. The lesson is clear. In a connected world, building bridges beats building walls. Countries that invest in relationships and foster mutual understanding are better equipped to navigate uncertainty and seize new opportunities. The future of trade belongs to those who adapt and cooperate. As Ireland and Canada show, embracing change and working together is the key to thriving in a rapidly evolving global economy.